Chapter 1. Arrival at Ravenwood. The heavy clang of the prison gate reverberates through the air, marking the start of a new reality for inmate Marcus. As he steps inside Ravenwood Correctional Facility, trepidation settles in like a fog. "I still remember the smell," he reflects, his voice laced with regret, metal, and hopelessness. Fellow inmates, each bearing their own burdens, share fragmented recollections of their first days. Some resigned, others defiant. The chaotic sounds of distant shouts and the rustling of uniforms create an atmosphere thick with uncertainty. Marcus recalls the cacophony around him, a haunting soundtrack to his unfolding story. Amidst the clattering trays and muffled conversations, he catches glimpses of his peers. Sophia, a former teacher, Ahmed, whose past resonates with gang violence, each facing their demons. This chapter sets the stage for their collective journey through confinement, echoed by the unyielding quest for redemption that binds them within these formidable walls. Chapter 2. The Routine. The sounds of harsh steel and authoritative commands reverberate as morning roll call begins, a daily ritual that underscores the rigid structure of prison life. Inmate Sophia, once a passionate teacher, recounts her days filled with monotony and the echoing clang of trays during mealtime. Yet amidst the bleakness, she discovers solace in a weekly book club, where the prison's walls seem to fade away, replaced by the worlds within the pages. Her diary entries reflect her struggle to reconcile her past with her present, revealing a journey of introspection and rediscovery. The ambient noise of muffled conversations and laughter during club meetings contrasts with the more oppressive sounds of confinement. Sophia's love for literature rekindles her spirit, as stories become a means of escape and reflection. In this chapter, the stark dichotomy of prison routine and personal resurrection unfolds, illustrating how even within confinement, the human spirit yearns for connection and meaning. Chapter 3. The Weight of the Past. As the sun rises over Ravenwood, the inmates find themselves in a shared moment of reflection, grappling with the shadows of their past. Inmate Marcus's voice trembles as he recounts the pivotal night of his crime, a tale woven with desperation and poor choices. Echoes of regret punctuate his story as he recalls the fear in his victim's eyes, a haunting reminder of his actions. Sophia's diary entries reveal her deep-seated guilt over a crime born from passion, illustrating her internal struggles as she seeks redemption through literature. The ambient sounds of solitude, soft footsteps echoing, distant sobs, create an intimate backdrop, amplifying their introspection. Ahmed, too, confronts the demons of his gang involvement, highlighting how each inmate's past shapes their present. Through these confessions, listeners are invited to witness the heavy burden of regret that defines their existence within the walls of Ravenwood, setting the stage for their quest for redemption. Chapter 4. Connection and Conflict. As the days drag on within Ravenwood, the intricate web of relationships among inmates begins to unravel and reweave. Ahmed, a former gang member, finds purpose in mentoring younger inmates, channeling his turbulent past into guidance and support. His diary entries reveal poignant moments of connection, shared burdens and laughter echoing in the cramped spaces. However, as alliances shift, tensions escalate, and the fragile bonds are tested. The atmosphere thickens during yard time, where emotions run high and unresolved conflicts simmer beneath the surface. A climactic confrontation erupts, scattering the usual camaraderie like shattered glass, leaving both friendships and authority dynamics in disarray. Sounds of shouting and the shuffle of feet juxtapose the heavy breaths of those caught in the chaos, underscoring the fragility of hope within these walls. Listeners are left on edge, questioning how this pivotal moment will alter the lives of those seeking redemption amidst a backdrop of despair. Chapter 5. The Heart of Healing. In the hushed corners of Ravenwood, whispers of hope emerge through the vibrant strokes of creativity. Sounds of paintbrushes dancing against canvas intertwine with the soft murmur of inmates participating in art therapy. Lisa, a once lost soul, finds her voice through her artwork, expressing emotions buried deep beneath regret and sorrow. Her diary entries reveal a transformative journey. Each painting is a testament to resilience and self-discovery. Alongside her, others in the program share their stories, unveiling raw vulnerability through colors and shapes that speak louder than words. As the ambient sounds of laughter and encouragement fill the room, the impact of artistic expression becomes evident, healing wounds once believed to be irreparable. Through this collective journey, the inmates begin to understand that art is not just a pastime. It's a lifeline, fostering connection and offering a glimpse into a future where their past no longer defines them. Chapter 6: Echoes from the Outside. In this chapter, the emotional distance between inmates and their families becomes palpable as the sounds of a crackling radio fill the background. Inmates gather in a dimly lit rec room, listening intently to news broadcasts, sports updates, and music echoing from their limited connection to the outside world. Inmate Marcus recalls receiving a heartfelt letter from his daughter, her words a bittersweet reminder of life beyond the bars. The ambient sounds of paper rustling enhance the raw emotion as he reads aloud, revealing glimpses of his family's struggles without him. Meanwhile, Sophia listens to a family's recorded message, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, reflecting on the sacrifices her loved ones endure. These poignant moments emphasize the weight of separation, highlighting not only the inmates' longing for connection, but also the ripple effects of their incarceration on families. Through their voices, listeners witness the enduring bonds of love and the pain of absence, echoing the complex truths of life behind bars. Chapter 7: Forging New Identities. In the confines of Ravenwood, inmates begin to peel back the layers of their past selves, engaging in workshops designed to foster self-discovery. The sounds of laughter and camaraderie fill the air as they explore their hobbies and talents, redefining what it means to be more than just a prisoner. Inmate Carlos shares his journey of embracing art, revealing how painting has transformed not only his perception of self, but also his interactions with others. His voice, filled with hope, describes the relief he feels in expressing emotions once buried under anger and shame. Meanwhile, Sophia reflects on her experience leading a poetry workshop, where the powerful words of her peers resonate like echoes of shared pain and healing. Amid discussions of dreams and aspirations, the inmates find strength in vulnerability, crafting a new narrative that transcends their past mistakes. The atmosphere shifts, illuminated by the warmth of newfound identities emerging from the shadows of regret. Chapter 8: The Vicious Cycle of Recidivism. In the dim light of the common area, conversations turn to the haunting specter of recidivism, the cycle that chains many inmates back to prison after their release. Inmate Daniel, once a promising student, reflects on his return to Ravenwood, driven by desperation and poor choices. His diary entry reveals fears of judgment from society and the overwhelming weight of expectations that often lead him back to crime. "I want to change," he writes, his voice tinged with sadness. "But who will open the door for me?" As the ambient sound of clattering trays fills the background, other inmates share their stories, testimonials filled with hope and anxiety. They express fears of being unable to reintegrate, fueling a system that often punishes rather than rehabilitates. The demographics and struggles of ex-inmates are discussed, exploring how stigma fuels their return to crime. This chapter serves as a poignant reminder of the barriers that must be dismantled if true rehabilitation is to be achieved. Chapter 9: Seeds of Hope. In the heart of Ravenwood Correctional Facility, the seeds of hope begin to sprout through community outreach programs that transform the lives of inmates and local youth. Inmate Derek, a former gang member, reflects on his journey as he leads a weekly mentoring session with at-risk teenagers from the nearby community. The ambient sounds of laughter and enthusiastic chatter fill the air as they engage in creative projects, bridging the gap between their experiences. Through candid conversations, Derek shares his story, a tale of choices, consequences, and the desire for redemption. As the youth listen intently, they connect with his struggles, recognizing the potential for change within themselves. Similarly, other inmates recount their own transformative moments, the realization that their pain can inspire a brighter future for those who might tread a similar path. Together, in this shared space of vulnerability and understanding, hope flourishes amidst the confines of Ravenwood, demonstrating that even the darkest pasts can cultivate bright tomorrows. Chapter 10: Training for Tomorrow. In the heart of Ravenwood Correctional Facility, the promise of a better future shines through the clattering sounds of machinery and the murmur of eager voices in vocational training programs. Inmate Jacob shares his journey from despair to hope as he masters welding, a skill he never imagined could forge a new path for him. "I used to think I'd never have a real life again," he reflects, his voice steady yet filled with emotion. Throughout the chapter, the ambient sounds of tools scraping metal contrast with laughter and camaraderie among the inmates. Each class becomes a beacon of possibility as instructors encourage them to envision their futures outside prison walls. Success stories, like that of Maria, who is now certified in culinary arts, illuminate the transformative power of education. The chapter emphasizes that, although the barriers are immense, these inmates are reclaiming their lives, one skill at a time, preparing for a world eager to welcome them back. Chapter 11, Facing the Mirror. The air in the group therapy room is heavy, yet charged with anticipation, as inmates gather to confront their deepest traumas. The soft murmur of voices gives way to silence as the therapist introduces the session. Inmate Carlos takes the lead, his voice trembling yet resolute as he shares the painful memory of his childhood, revealing how it molded his choices. The sounds of chairs creaking and the subtle sniffles of fellow inmates punctuate his story, creating a shared space of vulnerability. One by one, they open up, offering powerful testimonials about guilt, shame, and the yearning for forgiveness. As the session unfolds, empathy washes over the group. A bond formed through shared pain emerges. The ambient noise of tissue papers renders a poignant reminder of their humanity, igniting a sense of empowerment. Each realization is a step toward accountability, leaving listeners moved by the transformative power of facing one's own reflection. Chapter 12, The Long Road Home. As the stark reality of impending release settles in, inmates reflect on the multifaceted challenges of reintegration. A poignant diary entry by Tom captures his trepidation. "Will I still belong there, or has time moved on without me?" His words resonate with the collective anxiety of those facing an uncertain return to a world that feels foreign. Ambient sounds of a clock ticking amplify the urgency of their thoughts, each tick marking precious seconds until freedom. In interviews, fellow inmates share their fears of stigmatization and the struggle to find employment, while others express a glimmer of hope, motivated by newfound purpose from their rehabilitation efforts. Together, they confront the reality that the road home is fraught with obstacles, yet it is also a path to reclaiming agency and dignity. United by their shared experiences, they dream of transformative futures, determined not to let their past define them, but to shape their own legacies. Chapter 13, Rebuilding Bridges. As the inmates navigate the complexities of their past, many reflect on their relationships with family and friends, which often suffer greatly during incarceration. Inmate Rebecca, who lost touch with her daughter, documents her journey of reconnection in poignant diary entries. The sound of a family phone call fills the air. Rebecca's tentative voice is met with her daughter's hesitant yet hopeful responses. Inmates share anecdotes during group discussions, revealing their fears of rejection and their desires to rebuild trust. The ambient sounds of laughter and occasional sobs blend together, capturing the bittersweet essence of these reunions. Ahmed speaks on the importance of humility and understanding, while Sophia expresses the transformative power of forgiveness. Amid nurturing connections, the atmosphere becomes charged with an overwhelming sense of hope. As they strive to mend fractured bonds, the inmates learn that redemption often begins with facing the past and embracing vulnerability, showcasing the resilience of familial love.